Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Chris. I just wanted to get on here and kind of share my own experiences with racism. One time I'm gonna talk about it's hilarious to me. So, my fiance is white, and she's the one that makes sure we look appropriate. And so we're dressed to the nines. We're at the airport. We're trying to get on a plane, and I know I love TSA pre-check because I don't want to mess with no lines. All right. So I sign us up. I get us taken care of. So it's on our boarding passes, and we're set. Well, we're walking. She walks as if we're always late, as if we're already late. So she's gunning it in front of me, and I'm right behind her. And the gentleman is standing there. He's guarding the TSA pre-check area, and she walks right by him. He says nothing to her. I walk by him. He says, "Sir, the regular line is over there." He doesn't ask for my boarding pass. He doesn't say this is TSA pre-check. He doesn't even assume I know where I'm going. He just tells me the regular line is over there. But when my wife walked by, he had nothing to say to her. Another one. This one I still find hilarious because that's who I am. So we're in New York City. I'm not from New York. I've heard stories about New York. I watched Dave Chappelle do bits on New York and trying to get a taxi. And so me and my wife are standing there trying to get a taxi. And again, my wife is white, I am black. And so it dawns on me, oh, right, like 7 or 8 taxis went by and we couldn't hail not one. And it dawned on me, oh yeah, there's this whole thing. Let me see if it's true. This is so ridiculous. And I go, hey babe, I'm a hide. And I was being jokeful because I'm a comedian. So I went and I crouched down. And I hadn't even gotten to full crouch. And literally, a taxi pulled up to pick her up. And so then I'm like, oh, wow, that was ridiculous. I'm honestly embarrassed that it actually worked. So let me grab our luggage and I start going to the car. Now, where I hid wasn't like I walked away or went around the corner. I just crouched down and then stood back up. And so I go to get our bags and I start putting our bags in the taxi. And the taxi driver gets out and he tips me. Because in his mind, I am not his customer. My wife is his customer. I must be a bellhop. I looked completely presentable, but to him, there's no way I was his customer. This is one that was one of my first educations on racism. Me and my best friend in college, we are young, excited to finally be able to go to bars. We aren't 21 yet, but these are 18 and up bars. And so that was cool enough for me and him because maybe we could talk to some girls here. This would be awesome. And so I'm 19 years old, excited, and we live on campus, but the bars are really right across the street. So me and my buddy go to this bar, and as we're walking in, I'm in front of him. The dude at the doorman, that's what they're called. So the doorman stops me. He's like, hey, you can't get in with those jeans. They're too baggy. I look down, and back early 2000s, baggy jeans was a style. It was the swag that I normally rocked with. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I lived on campus, so it was right across the street. So me and my best friend went across the street. I changed into the tightest pair I had, which were standard, normal jeans. Skinny jeans weren't a thing yet, but these were standard jeans. So I go back. We get to walking in. My buddy's in front of me this time, so he actually gets in. And he's wearing about the same jeans I'm wearing. He gets in, then I'm next. He says, hey, I thought I already told you, you can't get in with those jeans. I looked down. I told him, I know you saw me earlier. I just went and changed. These aren't the same. These are different jeans. He said, I told you, you can't get in with those jeans. And at that moment, I realized he meant jeans with a G. Jeans with a G. The ones I could never take off. I could never change. And we left. Obviously, I couldn't get into that bar. And it really changed the whole dynamic of this fun night that was supposed to be us going out to experience life young. And I had to experience it different because I was treated differently at this bar. I was at home after college and I set the alarm off in my house. Right now, that's happened. Young kids make mistakes. I'm at home and I open the door, set off the alarm. All right. I get the alarm to stop. I'm assuming there's going to be a follow-up call from the company or something like that. Nothing happens. 5 hours pass, 4 to 5 hours pass. I am now comfortable in my home, and police come to my door, but they don't come announcing themselves. They don't come knocking. They come guns blazing, which is insane. 2 cops, they came with their guns drawn. The only way I noticed them was flashlights were going through my house. So I went to the front door to see what was going on, and when I opened it, I had 2 guns in my face, and I was told to get on the ground, get on the ground. I had to plead with them. I live here. This is my home. I have pictures of myself on the wall. On the wall is my family. They did not care. I had to point to them. This is me. I promise I am only maybe 4 years older than this person here in this photo. It is me. It took me 20 minutes to convince them that it was my home. Not to mention the fact that they chose to then search my home without a warrant, right? Not to mention the fact that they no longer were focused on being tactful or de-escalating. They were just focused on who is this black kid in this nice home that we got a call that was being burglarized when it wasn't. And now, again, I'm a comedian, so I laugh most of this shit off anyways. I use racism very well in my comedy, and hopefully when the world opens back up, you can come to one of my shows. But the last one is the one that hurt the most. 18 years old, I get into college. And I got into a fairly well-known college, Texas A&M, and it's one of the premier colleges, okay, in the state of Texas. Now, if you weren't in my classes in high school, you weren't aware that I was in AP classes. If you weren't in AP classes, you weren't aware that I was in all advanced classes since I can remember. I went to a magnet school. My whole life is full of advanced placement. So that's just who I am. I am smart. I am intelligent. I have good grades. I test very well. SATs, ACTs. I did well, right? And so I got into the school that I wanted to get into. Some of my classmates didn't, as I learned. And this was the hardest part to deal with, is when people that I thought were friends of mine were vocalizing that I must have been affirmative action. I must. There's no other way for me to have gotten into the school that they could not. Those people weren't in my classes in high school. They weren't in my advanced placement classes, but they just assumed that I couldn't have gotten in any other way. It's systemic. It's in our fabric. I've seen it with my friends. I've seen it with the places I shop. I've seen it with the airport. I've seen it in taxis, everywhere. We need to stop this. We need to stop it. Hopefully this gave you another look. Man, you can still be against systemic racism. You might not even got through this whole video. But if you learned something, please share this. Help other people understand. I'm not saying that I'm being lynched. I'm just saying that it's hard to not be black. Like everywhere you go, they see you as black. And it's real. All right, I'll let y'all.